Hey guys, Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. I'm happy to have you here, talking a little bit of Raid with yours truly, sending some positive vibes, especially if you need them your way today. Before we get to the subject at hand, which is the worst reviewed legendary in the game, a Void legendary at that, I want to tell you guys about a special third YouTube channel. That's right, here in 2023, I'm actually kind of spreading out my raid content a little bit. This is always going to be the main channel where I give you routine champion guides like we have today. But I want to start a channel on top of my raid promo codes channel that I have linked in the description below. Only promo codes. This one is going to be only quick champion guides. My goal is going to be, and it's going to be a big goal, is to eventually get a guide on every rare, epic, and legendary champion in the game. 5-10 minute guides, pretty quick ones. So I figured I would upload those on a separate channel, because there's going to be a lot of them and I don't want to clutter up this channel with like 5 uploads a day. So find a link to that in the show notes below. I hope to see you guys over there as well. If not, I'm sure you'll find me just by, Google searching or YouTube searching champions that you want to see guides on. So today the subject of the video is going to be Fortis. I actually pulled this dude in my last Void Shard opening video and I wasn't too excited. I wasn't too excited about this dude. You can see the reviews here. They're absolutely glowing. Yeah. A bunch of 1s and 2s. Let's see what we can do with this dude. His helmet reminds me kind of like a octopus? I wish he had tentacles instead of feet as well. Then it would really complete the motif. Is that whatever glowing stuff is in there has got to be the same as what Mighty Uko has, right? This stuff. It's got to be that stuff, right?
I stole it.
Anyway, guys, Fortis, what does he do, right? Why is he so bad? I have a really fun team, by the way, spoiler, set up to try to highlight the best possible, view of this champion. What could he be capable of? So anyway, Taste of Oblivion is A1, attacks one enemy. We have a 35, 45, 50% chance of placing a fear debuff for 1 turn. The attack will always be critical if the target is under a fear or true fear debuff. Okay, on the A2, 3-turn cooldown when booked. Attacks all enemies, 100% chance when booked of placing a true fear debuff for 1 turn. This debuff cannot be resisted by targets under fear. So again, better kind of being set up by somebody with fear or true fear rather than having him the one that place it, which is number one, why his kit is a little bit unorthodox to say the least. A nice easy buff would be this debuff cannot be resisted, period. That's it, straight up, right? So anyway, Ancestral Terrors, his A3 ability, attacks all enemies, will ignore 30% of each target's defense against targets under fear or true fear debuffs. This attack is always critical against targets under fear or true fear debuffs, making it very powerful. The damage of the skill is increased by 10% every time a fear or true fear debuff is placed on an enemy. This skill has a 40% chance to be unlocked for 1 turn whenever a fear or true fear debuff is placed on an enemy. You can see there's no cooldown on this ability, so it's like a secret skill but with a 40% chance per fear or true fear. That's pretty cool because we could technically be using it every turn, especially in today's build where we have them built pretty slow, right? So plenty of time to get those fears and true fears placed to reactivate his secret skill every turn, hopefully. Stars Align, his passive on a 4-turn cooldown. Passive effect, increase the chance of enemy skills failing by 15% when those enemies are under fear or true fear. So they have a 50% chance of those skills failing under fear or true fear. Of course, true fear will also reset the cooldown of those skills if they fail, but this is going to bump that to 65% when he's on the team. Really cool. Active effect, prevents this champion's death, keeps them alive with 1 HP when hit by a fatal hit, then removes all buffs and debuffs from this champion. After preventing this champion's death, fully heals them and fully depletes their turn meter. Then has a 100% chance of placing a fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. 80% chance. I don't know why I said 100. I'm so used to booking it up to 100. No, it's just straight up 80. Finally, plays a sleep on this champion for 1 turn. This debuff cannot be resisted or blocked. Wow. So this active effect is basically preempting that fatal hit, fully healing him, cleansing him, getting the buffs removed from him, and then putting him to sleep, okay? So it's a pretty cool, and putting fear on all enemies, 80% shot. So it's actually a really, really strong passive. So overall, what do I think of his kit before I tried him out? Crit rate, by the way, on all battles by 25%. I think it's a very cool kit. It's defense based as well, right? Very cool kit. This Ancestral Terrors, I wish the multipliers were just a little bit better on it. Then it would be insane. Like if this when properly, let's just say there's a fear and true fear on every opponent, right? And we're ignoring 30% defense plus Helm Smasher, right? Plus Savage Gear. I would like to see this hit like a, Nutcracker, like a Guragid. I want to see that kind of damage, and it's just shy of that, like a Baron type damage on Skypiercer, because it's so conditional anyway. But then again, if you make it so OP, it has a chance of being unlocked essentially every turn. So you got to be careful there too. Anyway, I'll just show you how I built this guy, and then we'll try him out in the arena. Again, with a very special pairing, I'll just tell you right now, we're going to play him on the same squad as Elder Skarg. Elder Skarg has a AoE True Fear that cannot be resisted. Okay? Also plays a Provoke on Legendary Champions for 1 turn. So an irresistible fear sounds beautiful. The only thing holding us back is Stone Skin. That's why we're also going to pair these champions with, where am I? Why I always get something about Skinwalkers and Lizardmen, man. I always click on the wrong one.
Just 1 minute of silence.
Mighty Uko for Uko's Fury. Attacks all enemies 2 times. Each hit has a 100% chance to remove 2 random buffs from the target. So we're going to run a very high accuracy Mighty Uko to set up Elder Skarg, to set up Fortis, okay? That's going to be the squad. We're going to have Mithrala Lifebane on the team too, obviously for the increased defense, okay? Increased defense obviously is a perfect setup for any defense-based nuker in the game. So that's going to be the squad. I've been playing around with this team. I tried Harvest Jack for a little while. He worked great too. Yoshi the Drunkard on a faster team is also a great option. There's a lot of fear and true fear champions out there in the game, but I like Elder Skarg on this particular team. So let me show you the builds really quickly here. We have Savage and crit damage on Fortis, and we didn't really care too much about crit rate, okay? It's going to be critical anyway on his A1 and his A3 as long as there's someone under fear, true fear. So instead, I poured all of my stats into crit damage. So 309 crit damage. He has a 5,500 just shy of on the defense as well, and I built him nice and slow again to give us a chance to get another, unlock on that A3. So very slow build. We have defense percentage on his boots. We have defense percentage on his chest. We have crit damage on his gauntlets. And then again, we have crit damage, crit rate. Looking for crit damage, mostly crit damage. Crit rate, again, because it's always going to be critical, I decided to just go all in with the crit damage. And on the banner, we have defense. And we have crit damage, and again, we have defense here on the ring. On masteries on this champion, again, kind of arena nuker build here. I have Retribution, I have Deterrence, Cycle of Revenge on my defense tier 5 masteries. And then on the offensive side, we picked up Ruthless Ambush. Obviously, we're going to pick up Opportunist because increased damage inflicted on targets with fear and true fear by 12%. So that's obviously going to be extremely beneficial and a must-have. We picked up Bring It Down, which we love to have, higher max HP. And then against those tanky teams, and then Helm Smasher again to have a 50% chance of ignoring 25% of the target's defense. Add in the Savage, add in again the ignore defense on the A3, and we're going to be looking really, really good there. So let me just show you quickly the other champions build, just so you're aware of what we're rocking here. We have Mighty Uko in a high accuracy 628 and fairly high speed, 281. We also have him in a 1-turn Stone Skin. We have Mithrala Lifebane in a triple perception set. That's going to put her accuracy at 759 and just a million resist, around 1,000.
Are you blind?
Because of her passive. And we have Elder Skarg in a 2-piece Stone Skin. He's built to do a little bit of damage, 93 on the crit rate, 149. We're actually going to run Fortis as our crit rate lead on this team. That way he's over 100. What do we have here? Crit rate in the arena? Actually, I could use Elder Skarg. He also has a crit rate in the arena at 30%, but either way, we're not going to need it. I think everybody else here, let's see, what do we have? That's going to be fine. And then the crit rate, yeah, I guess we'll take 30 for Mighty Uko. Why not, right? So we'll make that little change there. But again, we have him in a 6-piece Stone Skin with 4,700 on the attack, 257. We want him to be fast. We want him to go right after Mighty Uko on this team. And let's see how we do, guys. All right, guys, so here we are in the arena. So this is the squad. You already know the champions. Let me just quickly go through what I have them doing here. We have prioritizing the A3 for the Fear on Elder Skarg, Mithril Lifebane, prioritizing the A2 ability, Mighty Uko, prioritizing the A2 ability, and Fortis is going to go to the Astral Terrors if he has it unlocked anyway. So let's go against this faster team here and see how we do. Start things out in the arena, right? Now, if I had to change one thing about this team, I think I would try to get a bolster set on one of these champions just to help protect us. You could also, we don't want Fortis to get CC'd either. Here we go in with the A3. That's going to do fear, fear, fear. We're going to place the increased defense. And now you can see that passive triggering on Stars Align. And we're going to be up next. Let's see what he can do here. Now keep in mind, there is no decreased defense on the enemy team. So let's go A3 here. Not too bad in terms of damage.
That is not what we agreed upon.
You can see what I was talking about earlier, right? Would like ideally maybe a little bit more damage there, you know? But not too bad considering no debuffs, right? Another option here, we lose our Reviver, but we could put like a Madame Ceres on the teams. That way we could remove and debuff at the same time just for a damage check. Let's go after Arbiter, I guess. Let's go A1 here. And then now the cool thing is if we can start putting some more fears and true fears, then we can just unlock that ability 2 times in a row. So that time we don't, but we can come in with the A2 ability. It actually looks a lot like Candy's A2 ability, right, guys? But now we have that ability unlocked because we landed those fears and true fears. Gonna come back around. Yeah, it looks a lot like Canderfon's ability as well, which is really cool. Let's see. Gonna come in here, just pick up the Revivers. We'll cleanse that 1 poison away from the team. Add the Strengthen, add the Shield. And I think we pretty much... Okay, now we have it unlocked again. Let's go. Boom. And again, not the most damage in the world. And that's, again, what I was talking about earlier, right? Really want to see... It was a kind of a tanky team, though. Let's go against, like, a little bit of a faster team here. See if we can get a little bit more damage out of that A3 ability. I have to say, early on, I don't hate this champion. I think the damage would be a little bit nicer. I think that a little buff on this champion would go a long way. I think that's a better way to put it, right? A little buff would go a really long way. So we're going to go ahead and do this again. We're going to unlock the secret skill on this ability. Hidden skill unlocked. Going to add the increased defense. Now, a little bit of a squishier team. Let's see how he does here. Like, I would like to see something... Okay, here we go. Boom. 116k. So, like, it's a pretty hard nuke. Not going to lie to you guys. It's not quite as hard as I wanted it to be, you know? I would like to see, like, 200k, something pretty bonkers. But then again... The fact that we can go back-to-back round turns, you know, I got to make sure I always factor that in, like I said earlier, right? All right. But I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that while he's a very niche champion, there's no doubt about it, he's not going to win any awards for being the most versatile champion in the game. Although with all those fears and true fears, you could definitely use him for, like, waves, and if you pulled him in the mid-game, I think he's, you know, I'm not sure if he's worth booking, but he's worth kind of using, right? Because you don't have to book that A3 to unlock it at all, right? So even if you pulled him in the early game, I think he's a champion, but you can still run, right? So what I'm trying to say is, here he goes again with the A3. Again, the damage isn't too bad, but man, I was hoping for a lot more, right? A Void Legendary? So if they up that damage just a little bit on that A3, or they added like a little bit more, maybe every time a fear, you know, fails on an enemy, right? Every time it fails, maybe he gets a turn meter fill or something like that, right? Just like one more passive or one more dynamic, I think would be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and show you another tanky team matchup here. And I think you guys pretty much get the point. I do want to do one quick damage check too with like a Madame Ceres, so we'll do that as well before we let you guys go. But here we go. They got Pythion, they got Ultimate Death Knight, they got Rhodos, and they got Mighty Uko as well. We're going to block all their buffs. No increased speed for you. They do get the cleanse. We're going to come in. Oops. Well, we went in there. We went in there to do nothing. They have blocked debuffs thanks to Pythion's A2 ability, but again, we're just going to keep going in with the A1. The nice thing is we have 2 force affinities here against, again, not too bad on the damage on his A2. considering he doesn't have much crit rate anyway, right? You might want to, if you're using him in other areas of the game, you might want to go ahead and we can just cleanse here. This is going to be easy. You may want to build him with 100% crit rate anyway, or if you're going to use him as an aura lead. Well, was it arena only? No. Elder Scar was arena only. Build him to 70% if you want, or 75% if you want to use him as an aura lead. But I probably want to get some damage out of that A2 ability is what I'm trying to say. All right, so, I mean, at least we're getting him down here. Okay. Decreased attack won't do anything to him, which is great. Gonna go in A1 there. Gonna go another AoE here. Their HP is low, but I'm still not feeling like I'm out of the woods here at all. Let's take down UDK, and we do with the A1. They still have the block debuffs, so not much we can do here. And they both have the revival, so again, I can't really do much. So they keep poking away at my man, but that's that cool passive. So that's the first time we get to see that passive in action there. And I really love it, guys. I mean, that's super solid, right? Just revives him and we're good to go. Now, if we could cleanse that sleep off of him, it can't be blocked or resisted, but it can be cleansed. So now we have the ability unlocked. So let's see what we can do here. We're in a little bit of a better situation. Let's go. Mighty Uko just used the revival, so let's go again. Instead of Mighty Uko, let's go against Pythion, if I can speak. And here we go. Boom. There we go, man. All right, so take down some really tanky teams, right? That's for sure. Let's find a team that we can actually beat in a speed race here. Yikes. I don't know if I can do this real quick. Let me do this. Let's just do it like this, guys. I need to get a Fear or True Fear champion in front of him. So I'm still going to use Elder Scarg, and I'm just going to hope this works. I don't know if it's going to, but let's try. I just want to do a damage check, assuming we actually have the damage debuffs on him as well. So here we go. Going to go ahead and do a speed boost. We have no increased defense on this team, so keep that in mind. Probably should have subbed out Arbiter too, but whatever. Okay, we unlock the secret skill. It pretty much happens. I mean, it's pretty much happening every time. Who's going to go first there? Miscreated? Okay, so here we go. Boom. So, you know, that's some really nice damage there. Over 100k with the debuffs, and he didn't have increased defense up. So, if you built him speed and you had the Fear synergy, I'm going to tell you, he's not the worst legendary champion in the game. I will say that. Not the worst legendary. The final verdict. Not the worst legendary champion in the game. Very niche champion. I do think he deserves a buff, especially for a Void legendary. But I had a lot of fun with him today, guys. What do you think of this champion? The worst, quote unquote, in the game out of all the legendaries. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, take care, guys.